How does a home inspection factor into the process of buying or selling a home? Let's find out on What Works Now.
AOL Real Estate, helping you find out what works now.
We all know that problems with a home can mean big bucks in repairs. And despite our best efforts, we may not be able to identify these problems ourselves. That's why, particularly when buying or selling a home, it's critical to have a home inspection. Simply put, a home inspection is an examination and assessment of the condition of a home. Here's how it works. Usually, a real estate agent works with a seller to determine an asking price for a home. A potential buyer then comes along and makes an offer. At that point, the buyer then brings in an inspector to examine the condition of the home.
Hi, I'm Kenny Rhodes. I'm a licensed home inspector. My job as a professional home inspector is to evaluate a building's mechanical systems, structural integrity, and safety items, and deliver that information to my client. Basically, I'm looking for defects that the layman may not necessarily notice. It's my job to find them, and I'll make certain that I do.
Prepare yourself. This is going to be a very thorough process. Usually, whoever brings in the inspector, in most cases the buyer, tags along for the whole thing. For an average house, this investigation typically takes 3 to 4 hours.
Hey Stacy, you ready to go up in the attic?
Yep, you lead the way.
Let's go.
So how does it look up there?
So the thing we're looking for up here is insulation value. The insulation is about 6 inches of fiberglass, which really isn't that bad. However, new construction would have 10 inches, and that's going to make a big impact on the long term for your heating and cooling costs. I'm also looking around for any signs of leakage. I don't see any leaks.
So I'm getting the sense this isn't really a pass-fail sort of examination.
It really isn't pass-fail. What it is the conditions that are currently observable. And you know, a lot of times I make suggestions, which are kind of get to it when you can, or recommendations, which is a much more powerful way of saying you need to do this and that. So forget about the pass-fail, but I'll tell you what you need to be thinking about.
For an average home, the basic home inspection can run approximately $300 to $400. Now keep in mind, an inspection is not actually required by law, and the inspector is not a code official who has to report his findings to the local municipality. However, it is strongly recommended that a buyer get this done. I mean, who wouldn't want to know exactly what he is buying?
Ready to go downstairs and look at the basement?
With such a thorough examination at hand, you may be wondering about how to make sure you have the right person for the job. How do you recommend a buyer find the right professional?
Well, there are many ways to do that, and the first person is probably your realtor. Start with them, and then you want to make a call, and you want to get a feel for them over the phone. Do they sound knowledgeable? That's a good place too. Now, there are several national organizations that one can belong to, and most of the states have modeled their standards against those organizations. So, realtors, interview your candidates over the phone, look at these national organizations, and ask a friend that recently bought a house.
So what happens when the day is through? The inspector compiles the data, and within a day or two, a report is submitted to the buyer or whoever commissioned the job. So remember, with a good home inspection, you should have the right information to decide what your next move should be.
For more great videos, log on to realestate.aol.com.
Most homeowners know what a refinance is and what it takes to get one. What may be more confusing is why anyone would want one. If you already have a mortgage that's comfortable to live with, what could make it enticing enough to go through that process again? Simply speaking, there are many reasons one might consider a mortgage refinance, but the ultimate reason is money. By refinancing a mortgage, the original mortgage is paid off and the borrower agrees to a new mortgage. This new mortgage either has a lower mortgage rate or a shorter term with a lower mortgage rate. Either way, there is a substantial amount of money to be saved with a mortgage refinance. There are many personal scenarios that make homeowners choose to refinance. Some do it more than once, while others are considered serial refinancers, those who do it all the time. In the end, borrowers must realize that refinancing does cost money as well as time. With this in mind, it becomes a very serious financial decision that could be either a good idea or a not so good idea for the homeowner. Refinancing when mortgage rates are low is a good idea if the homeowner wants to pay off the mortgage in a shorter period of time. By taking a shorter term loan, the overall interest paid on the new loan will be substantially less than a longer term loan. Since mortgage rates at this time are at historic lows, borrowers may not see much of a difference in their monthly mortgage payment with a shorter term as compared to the original mortgage. Although in some cases, a new mortgage payment for a shorter term loan may even be less, depending on how high the original rate was. Some homeowners like the security of a lower mortgage payment that comes with a longer-term loan. When refinancing back to a 30-year mortgage, the monthly payments will be less, but borrowers can pay the mortgage off faster by paying more each month, which amount is put directly towards principal. This ultimately reduces the life of the loan. By refinancing this way, borrowers know that in case of emergency, only the set mortgage payment needs to be made without suffering penalties or consequences. If it is possible, refinancing to consolidate other debt that has higher interest rates could be the right decision. In order to do this, the homeowner will need sufficient equity in the home to allow this type of refinance, a cash-out refinance. For those who are financially secure and will not incur additional debt again, this could be a good move. In other cases, a cash-out refinance may be needed to make home improvements or repairs which will in effect add value to the home. Mortgage rates are currently lower than private loans that would be used for this purpose. Regardless of the reason, when a cash-out refinance is a viable choice, discipline is needed on the part of the homeowner. Any type of mortgage refinance should be considered a financial planning decision since it's a long-term loan. Further, having personal credit in good order will help homeowners receive the low mortgage rates available for the refinance. Deciding the reason for the refinance, the type of refinance, the term of refinance, and ultimately the goal of the refinance should all be considered. When approaching it from this direction, most homeowners will live comfortably since they know it was the right decision.